Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So let's talk about Kristen and Susan. Here's the thing about this whole switch. I feel like eventually one, if not both of them, are gonna screw this up. And this episode pretty much shows you exactly how it's gonna go down. Sooner or later, one of them is gonna just screw up, if not both. Lonnie goes to visit Kristen in jail, and right off the bat, she knows that, because, at this point we all know it's Susan, that Kristen is just acting weird. Like she's not remembering certain things as far as Rachel being back in Salem, as far as, Vivian being in jail for what she did as far as kidnapping the twins. Just a lot of little things that's just like not adding up. Plus, just her personality and the way that she's acting, it just seems like it's very off. So just to kind of, I guess, just to kind of like, not get Lonnie, too suspicious, she turns this conversation around on Lonnie, talk about her kids and what's been going on with her and all this other stuff. I feel like Susan is gonna screw that up, and the same thing with Kristen. But I feel like Kristen's gonna just screw it up first. So Ben and Claire come to see her, to try to find Sierra to see if they can get a psychic reading or whatever, because they got the book. And Kristen is not a woman of patience. Okay, she is not a woman of patience, and at one point I almost felt like she wasn't even trying to act like Susan. I really did. Ben was like, could you help us? You got that impression of last time. Like, she couldn't remember certain facts as far as like the tattoo or whatever. But could you help us out? Trying to find Sierra or whatever. If you touch the book, maybe we can get a reading or whatever. We can kind of get one step closer to find this guy named Rhodes. So Kristen is very dismissive. She starts doing this whole whatever crap, and then she's like, "Well, I got nothing. Bye." And she tries to dismiss them. And at one point, she insults Claire, and she's just being really rude and very just, again, cold and dismissive. So, Ben grabs the book and he's like, alright, whatever. And he just pretty much leaves, and Claire just kind of looks at her like, I can't tell if it was like disappointment or anger or just both, but they walked off, and I'm just like, Kristen, what the hell are you doing? I feel like your attitude and your jealousy is going to take over, and you're going to want to screw this whole thing up. Probably again, because I'm pretty sure this isn't the first time that she actually tried to do this. Except for she tried to use Nicole's face to do it the last time. But I feel like she's going to screw it up. I just do. Now let's talk about Trip. Let's talk about Trip and Ava. So Ava's looking at a picture of Charlie. And they start talking about it a little bit, and Ava pretty much talks about how screwed up he is, and yada yada yada, and talk about the threat that Charlie Charlie threatened Trip. So they're talking for a little bit, and at some point, here's the thing: when Eli comes over to tell Ava and Trip about Charlie's death, first of all, Ava's like, so he shot himself, right? I mean, it was suicide, obviously. The walls are closing in, and just trying to just speculate on what it could possibly be. So that was kind of like the first red flag. She didn't even see that broken up about it, and that was something else. She really didn't see that broken up about it. Like, she wasn't crying or anything, not even a tear or a sigh or anything. So when Eli leaves, Ava's like, I'm glad he's dead. I'm sorry. What? Did you did you just say you're glad that your son is dead? Wow, Ava. Listen, I know that in a lot of ways I feel like she failed him at life, and now that he's dead, she just doesn't give a damn. I'm like, wow, you are. And you know, honestly, tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. When she said that, and she was like, you know, I know it's horrible to say, and Trip was like, no, you know, it's understandable. I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I mean, listen, I know you're the golden child and everything like that, but you really can't see how jacked up that statement was from her. I mean, damn. Listen, it's not to excuse Charlie for what he did, because we can all agree that, I mean, well, he's a terrible person and he got exactly what he deserved, but, like, still. Wow. I mean, I could sit there and just talk about it over and, you know, on and on and on about just how much of a POS of a mother that Ava is, but, wow. So let's talk about Allie and Nicole. So Allie wakes up hella late, up until the point where Nicole wound up doing a lot of the stuff as far as like Henry's schedule and stuff like that, his feeding and all this other stuff. Allie talked about how she woke up really, you know, like she was just really tired, and she felt guilty that Charlie almost hurt Claire, and at some point she says, she gives like this veiled threat, or this veiled thing that like she did something to Charlie, you know, but then she skates around it, and at some point the conversation turns to Trip. But honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not gonna lie. The way she was talking, like as far as putting Charlie behind me, and he's practically dead to me. I'm just like, all right, so I guess you're another suspect in the long pool of suspects. You talk about Trip, and okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is a part that just irked the living hell out of me, and I'm talking about Nicole. So, Allie talks about how, she apologized to Trip, but Trip didn't say anything. But then, he came over her house, and, she accepted his apology. And Nicole was like, well, of course he should. And I was like, I'm sorry, sweetheart. What? I was like, first of all, let's just get something very crystal clear. He doesn't owe y'all to a damn thing. Hell, if anything, Nicole should be sitting there practically sending this guy some e-cards, a fruit basket, something. I was like, wow, the nerve on this woman. Wow. I don't want to sit there and keep going on and on about that, but like that just irked the living life out of me. It was like, got some iron nerves. He owed. Wow, okay. He doesn't owe y'all a damn thing. And honestly, tell you the truth, Allie should be very grateful, what she is, and she should be very grateful that Tripp accepted her apology, because he didn't have to. And, since we're on the subject, yeah, that chick still owes him an apology. So, we're going to be waiting on that one. But yeah, she talked about how, Tripp was going to help her out as far as the baby and stuff like that, and just kind of just being there as a good uncle and stuff. But at some point, Rafe comes by. Now, Rafe comes by to tell them that, Charlie's dead, and they got a suspect, and it's Sammy. Now, Sammy is being interrogated. Well, here's the thing. Um, so, yeah, in the beginning of the episode, you got Rafe standing over Charlie's body, and Sammy just comes out the bathroom, like, wiping her hands off. So, of course, the gun is, he's got the gun pointed at her. And let me just ask you a question. Has she always just been this delusional? Because I'm not going to sit there and say she's stupid, but, like, delusional is just a real factor. He's like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Why are you not telling me anything? And, Sammy's like, you can put down a gun. No. I think he should actually still have it up because there's a dead body, blood, and you just came out the bathroom washing your hands. I couldn't tell if this was an entitlement attitude, stonewalling, or just her being Sammy at this point. He asks her, what are you doing here? She doesn't want to give an answer. So he takes her down to the station. And he starts talking to her as far as, like, what's going on? Like, why are you back in town? What are you doing back in town? Like, what are you doing with Charlie? And, of course, Sammy's like, listen, whoever did this is a hero. But she doesn't really give names. She's pretty much just kind of stonewalling. And, at one point she's like, well, why should I trust you? Now, in the beginning of this episode, when she said that, I was like, I didn't really know how to react to that. I didn't know if they were friends, what their relationship was. I mean, I know he had a relationship with her. I think he cheated on Hope with her, I think. He was like, why should I trust you and stuff like that. Like, really? I mean, listen, I get it. He's the law or whatever, and you don't want to incriminate yourself, but, like, you make it seem like he's, like, some sort of dirty cop or something. Like, why should you trust him? And honestly, to tell you the truth, he's been literally looking after your daughter. He could have arrested your daughter for coming over Tripp's house with a gun. But you want to sit there and try to treat him like he's the enemy? Are you serious? So, she continues to stonewall. And, she continues to stonewall. And, finally she's like, well, you know what, I think I'll just wait for my lawyer. So, here's my, well, I was going to sit there and say, here's my, premonition, or my guess about this, is that she didn't kill him, but she knows who did, and she's covering for him. Now, towards the end of the episode, she's sitting in, the interrogation room. She has a flashback of, her standing over Charlie with a gun. And she says something, I don't remember what she said, but, there she is, standing over him. Now, I guess is, to make you believe that it was Sammy that shot Charlie. But the one thing that I learned about this soap opera is that it's never really what it seems. So, yeah, I'm not 100% sure that it's Sammy that did it. I think that's pretty much about it. If I missed anything, let me know in the oh! I did miss something. Claire had a talk with, Rafe, I think. Or was it Eli? No, it was Eli. Eli came over there to talk to, Claire about Charlie's death, talking about they got a suspect. And that's when Claire has a flashback of Allie talking about how, she knows where her grandmother's gun is, and, she's gonna kill him, while, Claire's like, that's not a good idea, and, Allie's like, well, only if I get caught, whatever. So at this point, she thinks that Allie might have had something to do with Charlie's death. Which makes sense. So I'm gonna sit there and take a guess that it wasn't Claire. It wasn't Claire. Because here's the thing: why would she sit there and tell Allie not to kill Charlie because she'll go to jail for life? She would go to jail for life as well. You know, like she knows the consequences, so she's not gonna kill Charlie for the same reason she doesn't want Allie to kill Charlie. So I don't think it's gonna be Claire. Just like I don't think it's gonna be Ben either. But I still feel like the suspects will probably be maybe Sean, or Bella. As far as that little inner circle goes. But yeah, I think that's actually about it. Like I said, I think Susan and Kristen is going to screw this whole thing up. You know? And it's just for the simple fact that, and I'm surprised, I mean, maybe after a couple of times of Lonnie talking to Susan, that she's going to figure out that she's not Kristen. Because there's going to be too many things that she's not going to remember. And with Kristen, well, her personality is just going to give it away. You know, her temper, her jealousy, you know, the way she was sitting there talking to Claire and Ben was a perfect example of, yeah, I don't know how long it's going to last, so Kristen, you better hurry up with your little plan before you get busted. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's actually about it. If I missed anything, write it down in the comment section below. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Have a good day or good night. I hope everyone has a great weekend. I will see everyone in the next review.